Welcome back. This is Mark Rudov, branding advisor to CEOs and author of 3 books on branding for CEOs. You can find them at markrudov.com/books. And my latest, Duped Again, Why Sophistry Works. Again, this book is extremely important for this episode, which is about can, or will, I should say, Kamala beat Trump. As you know, yesterday, Joe resigned from the campaign. He can't hack it or something. COVID, mental incapacity. We don't know because he didn't say. And shortly after he released his letter on his letterhead, not on official White House or presidential stationery, but on his own Joseph R. Biden letterhead, said he's, for the good of the country and for his party, he's going to resign. Then, subsequently, he said that he would endorse Kamala Harris to take his place. So that begs the question, can Kamala beat Trump? Well, as you know, on June 9th of last year, 2023, I predicted that the Democrats would not remove Joe Biden from the presidency or from the race because the election is rigged. I still believe that. With Kamala Harris, who has not been nominated yet, but who is now receiving a swell of support, apparently within a day, she's raised $55 million. Gotten plaudits from even my governor, Josh Shapiro. Said she's a great American. We should support her. Really? I don't think so. If it hadn't been for the debate on June 27th with Trump, Joe Biden would still be in this race. The Democrats still would be lying about his mental incapacity and his incompetence. And the number one liar has been Kamala Harris. I believe that she knew from day one that he wasn't going to make it. She kept lying and lying because by being an ardent supporter and a loyalist, she knew that she would fill the bill. She would replace him. And that's why she's been loyal up until the end. But she hasn't been nominated yet. Again, if it weren't for the debate, exposing Joe for who he really is, for all Americans to see, he'd still be in there. I think of that as the Toto-Oz moment. Now, you Gen Zeros who think that life didn't exist before you were born, there was a movie in the 30s called The Wizard of Oz. It was one of the first movies in color. And there was this wizard who was behind a curtain scaring the hell out of everybody. But finally, Dorothy's dog, Toto, exposed him for the fraud that he was, and that he was nothing to be afraid of.
Please, sir, we've done what you told us. We brought you the broomstick of the Wicked Witch of the West. We melted her.
Oh, you liquidated her, eh? Very resourceful.
Yes, sir. So we'd like you to keep your promise to us, if you please, sir.
Not so fast. Not so fast. I'll have to give the matter a little thought. Go away and come back tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, but I want to go home now.
You've had plenty of time already.
Yeah. Do not arouse the wrath of the great and powerful Oz. I said come back tomorrow.
If you were really great and powerful, you'd keep your promises.
Do you presume to criticize the great Oz? You ungrateful creatures think yourselves lucky that I'm giving you audience tomorrow instead of 20 years from now.
Oh,
The great Oz has spoken.
oh,
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. The great Oz has spoken.
Who are you?
oh I am the great and powerful Wizard of Oz.
One of the big problems we have in our country is DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Kamala Harris is a DEI vice president. If not for melanin and gonads, she wouldn't be there. It's not about brains and competence and skill and background, track record. No, melanin and gonads. That's it. We have a director of the Secret Service, Ms. Cheadle, Kimberly Cheadle. She proved my motto: if you live by DEI, you die by DEI. And Donald Trump almost died because of DEI. She's an incompetent director of the Secret Service. She's there because Jill Biden likes her. Again, this time it's gonads, not melanin. But she's not competent. And she's admitted that the Secret Service wasn't prepared to protect Donald Trump at the rally in Butler. Has she resigned? No. She's going to appear before Congress today. But she hasn't resigned, and Joe Biden, who's never fired anybody, didn't fire her. So in my opinion, if you rise to the top because of DEI, you become an IED. That's DEI spelled backwards. An IED is an improvised explosive device, which means you're going to blow up whatever situation you're in. And Kimberly Cheadle has done that. Kamala Harris, if she is nominated, if she were to win, she would blow up America. And America's already pretty much blown up. She was the border czar, remember? 100,000 people per year die because of the fentanyl coming into this country, because of our open border, because China and the Mexican cartels have an alliance. They're producing fentanyl and it's coming across the border and killing 100,000 Americans per year. Not to mention the number of illegals who are raping and killing our women. Biden never says anything about it. Doesn't mention their names. Kamala Harris doesn't say anything about it. Never mentions their names. Remember back in 2020, when BLM and Antifa were burning down America, Kamala Harris was busy raising money to get the criminals out of jail. That's who she is. Can you imagine this buffoon with our nuclear codes? Can you imagine her facing down Xi Jinping or Vladimir Putin or Kim Jong-un or the Ayatollahs in Iran? No, you can't. Whoa, Mark, you're so unfair. She's not a buffoon, is she? Really? You think I'm wrong?
Remember Venn diagrams, those three circles? Right. And then let's just see where they overlap.
You will not be surprised because I have constructed a Venn diagram on this. Remember those three circles, how they overlap?
I love Venn diagrams. So I just do. Whenever you're dealing with conflict, pull out a Venn diagram, right? And so, the three circles. The television coverage of just yesterday, that's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet, based on what we've just been able to see. And because we've seen it or not doesn't mean it hasn't happened, but just limit it to what we have seen. For us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been,
6 former administration officials last week wrote that open letter urging the administration to change course, to change strategy. Is it time?
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
Our Supreme Court is on the line. Our basic freedoms are being tested, Madam VP. I know you've been traveling across the country. What are you hearing?
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets. And let me tell you, you're right, Taraji. There is so much at stake in this moment. The majority of us believe in freedom and equality. But these extremists, as they say, they're not like us.
They not.
Now, I don't know at this point if Kamala Harris is going to be the nominee, but the way people are talking today, July 22nd, 2024, it sure looks like it. We don't know yet, but let's assume she is the nominee. As you know, I made a video about, is Trump a threat to democracy? And I said, he is, because this country's not a democracy. Democracy is mob rule. Thomas Jefferson famously said that democracy is mob rule, which would allow 51% of the people to deny the other 49% of their rights. It's a constitutional republic. But they keep saying democracy, 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 because most people don't understand that this country is not a democracy. The Democrats, their name comes from democracy. They want to make it a democracy, but it isn't. The question is, if Kamala Harris becomes the nominee, can she beat Trump? She can't beat him legitimately. She can only beat him if the election is rigged. If you go to Google and type in Donald Trump, his campaign website does not come to the top. It's way down. You have to scroll down to find it. Up until yesterday, if you typed in Joe Biden, his campaign website would be first. That's called rigging an election. Google has a lot of influence in this country. That's just the surface. A lot of other shenanigans are occurring below the surface. Legitimately, Kamala Harris doesn't even have a chance. She's not a legitimate person. She's a buffoon. She always has been. She would be nowhere if it weren't for Willie Brown, who was the Speaker of the California State Assembly, who was having an affair with her while he was married and put her into cushy jobs. Nobody ever liked her. Nobody still likes her. When she ran against Joe Biden in 2020, she had to drop out before the Iowa caucus because her polling was so low, 2 to 3% approval. Nobody has ever liked her. So it's all about, she's this African American. She's not. Her father's Jamaican, her mother's Indian. She's not African American. It's a lie. They always lie. There's nothing but lies. That's why I wrote this book. You need to understand why people lie and why people believe and accept lies. And they've been believing and accepting the Democrat lies for a long time now. Look how far Joe Biden made it on lies. Look how far Kamala Harris has made it in life based on lies. She's even lied about celebrating Kwanzaa. Another lie. Kamala Harris cannot beat Donald Trump in any way, shape, or form unless the election is rigged. And I believe it is. And I hope that we can uncover the rigging, the extent of the rigging, in time. This is Mark Rudov. Until next time.